Oh my God. Please help. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Okay, let's look at this topic, short time decision making. And then, when you talk of this short time decision making, we are talking about add or delete a segment. We are talking about make or buy decision. We are talking about special order, or you call it extra sales decision. We are talking about overtime or second shift decision. We are talking about shut down a capacity. These are the topics we are going to cover under this particular topic. But I may not start with this one today, because if you want to make any of the decisions, that's one important topic that you need to know. Once we are able to analyze that topic very well, this topic will be very easy for us. We are not going to waste much time there. Let me start with this. When you talk of decision making, for you to make decision, you need information, right? It is information that is available to you that will help you to make decision, right? And we said that when you talk of information, we have two types of information. You have two perspectives. You look at information, right? We have what we call economic perspective. Economic perspective. And the one we call qualitative perspective. Qualitative perspective. When you are looking at a decision from economic perspective, you can also call it quantitative information. I get it now. You are looking at information from what? From the economic perspective, you look at quantitative information. Or you call it non-qualitative information. Have you? So now we have two types of information, right? You can look at information from the qualitative perspective. You can look at information from quantitative perspective. Have you? When you say quantitative information or economic information, we are talking about the information that can be expressed in monetary terms. You can express those items in figure, right? In quantity. How many units sold? What is the total sales? What is your total profit? How much contribution are we generating? What is the transfer price of this product? How many quantity? All these things can be expressed in quantitative form. I mean, Then we also have what we call qualitative information. That is, when you look at information from a qualitative perspective, right? That is, those information that cannot be expressed in monetary terms. Those information that cannot be expressed in figure, right? We have that also. Those are the two information we look at. When you talk about qualitative, you talk about a customer comes to you, I need a product, right? You say your product is not available, we are on stock out. I mean, we have stock out. And that customer left your shop. I get not left your office. So you can see, can you express the value of your goodwill you have lost? No. Or you want to delete a brand or a product or a segment of your product. Can you quantify the effect of deleting that particular product on your customer? Can you quantify the effect of it on your reputation, Abi? Can you quantify the shutting down a capacity on your employee? I get it now. All these things cannot be quantified in figure. I get it now. That is what qualitative factors. Now, when you now talk of this information, the information available to you determine how informed your decision will be, right? If you have bad information, you may most likely, make bad decisions, right? And when you have good information, you may I won't say you will make good decisions, no. You can have good information and still make bad decisions. But you may likely make good decisions, right? So in one of our lectures, we talk about quality of good information. There was a time I can tested this. Quality of good information. We talk about relevancy, right? Accuracy, relevancy, timeliness, reliability, and others. Please look at them. They are in your material. So, because completeness, am I right? Because an information may be accurate. That does not mean it's complete. Am I right? Do you get it right? It may be accurate, but does not mean that it is complete. And not completeness of that material, of that information, may make you to make a bad decision or a wrong decision, or may not make you to make involved decision. Does it make sense? Let me give a practical example at that point. Let's see. Let's see, for example, now in your company, you are the accountant of your company. I want to set a budget for next month. And the policy of your company they have 1 month sales, policy. That is, when a customer buy good from you, you are expecting the money next month to be paid. Definitely, you can budget for all your cash in the next month, or all the sales happened this month, right? Let's look at it. Let us say, for example, now, you have about 5 debtors, which we call trade receivables now, right? And all of them are owing you 1 million naira. Normal. Then you call your accountant. Hello, accountant, please, how much is our debtor? Because you want to set your cash budget for next month. How much is our debtor as of this month? Okay, we have 5 million. 1 million. Is it accurate or not? It is very accurate, right? Good. So you are good to go. But now, let me now add completeness to it to tell you that a good information must be completed. Not only accurate, it must also be completed. Accuracy and completeness are separate qualities of good information. Now, that same debtor now, let us say, out of these 5 debtors, one guy or one customer or one debtor is very sick, is on life or death. So, is it a life or death, right? Choose one. But we don't know. Am I right? So, that means the tendency of receiving that money next month is very slim, right? Am I right? And you are making budget. Then now also that particular customer is owing us 500,000 naira. If I ask my accountant, please give me the information about how much our debtor is owing us. He say 1 million. Abi? Is it accurate? Accurate. But is it complete? Can you see? How do you think that will affect my decision? It's accurate. Right? He said 1 million, Abi? But is it complete? No, I'm talking of the old debtor. 1 million is accurate, Abi? But is it complete? Why? Look at it now. Adebi is not complete, as you said. Because if you told him that Mr. Chuku, one of the customer, I don't want to mention name, is under the life or death situation. When I'm setting my budget, I may likely use as a provision for bad debt without budgeting for that money next month. Can you see now? I'm likely budgeted for that. We likely realize 500,000 next month. I'm making this one to my what? Likely bad or provision for bad debt. That the chances, the tendency of receiving this one is very slim. Can you see now? But the one give it to me is accurate. Fine, it's 1 million they are owing us. But if you told that somebody is under life or death, I may likely not include that person in the money we are going to receive next month. I can put it under provision for bad debt, that most likely. So if I don't have this information, next month we start production now. We need cash. We are now going to run out of a shortage of cash. Can you see the problem now? So that is completeness and accuracy. So the information must be reliable and it must also be relevant. I get it now. So good information, and they must also be what? Time bound. You need the information at a time to make a specific decision. If you are giving that information later, it may not be relevant to that decision again. I get it now. So all these things, look at it, they tested the one diet. So that is a good information. Now when I talk of information now, not all the information are relevant as we just said earlier, Abi. When you are making decision, you only need the relevant information, Abi. So we need to look at relevant cost as a topic, and we need to discuss that relevant cost extensively, because without the relevant cost, you won't be able to make short-term decision. So we are going today to relevant cost as a topic, because all these topics here depends on this relevant cost. And when you talk of relevant cost, we are talking about the cost incurred specifically for a particular disease. The cost incurred ought to be incurred when you are taking a decision, right? And I'm going to explain the relevant cost from the element of total cost, right? When you talk about the total cost, the cost will comprises material, labor, then overheads. This is your total cost, right? We are going to use this element to explain how can we determine the relevant cost of material, how can we determine the relevant cost of labor, how can we determine the relevant cost of overheads. We are going to look at that now. Let's start with material. Please listen very well here, because this is where they can actually hide things for you. This is where they have bulk of questions they can answer. They can ask a lot of information at this point, material. And then I won't be able to give you all. I will give you as many as I can give you away. Then please, you also need to practice more. You have so many questions on this topic, about 30 questions in your material. Practice, and you have the solution with you. Practice more, and let's see how it goes. Right? When you talk of material, please listen very well here. Your relevant cost for material may be replacement cost. Maybe what? Replacement cost. Replacement cost. What can make a replacement cost to be the relevant cost of a material? Please listen here. If a material is used frequently or often or regularly, I get it now. If a material is used frequently, regularly, or often, the relevant cost of that material is what? Is the replacement cost. That's how much are they selling that material now in the market? I mean, what is the current market price of that material? An example, you are baking cake. One of the major materials what is flour. I mean, who is baking cake here? Nobody? Chin chin. Okay. This flour will be chin chin. One of the ingredients you are using regularly for baking, for is it frying or baking? Frying chin chin. Kitchen is now our department. Kitchen is their department. We are just supporting the department. No, not by it. Sometimes we can talk. Hello, are you doing there? Hello, baby. How are you doing there? Where? So, I wait. Let me carry this one. so what? One of the ingredients you are using regularly is flour, right? Let me give you a practical example here. I gave you a special order. Okay? Hello, Comfort. Please help me fry chin chin. I have birthday. I want to do it for children. I'll give you that contract. Okay? Do it for me. And then you have a bag of flour already in store. You bought last year. You bought that bag. Look at it. You bought that bag, one bag. You bought it at the rate of 100,000. Let's say, for example, 100,000 a complete bag last year. Can you see now? You have it already in store, right? And I give you order, please. I need a chin chin. When you do the estimate of the quantity I need, it's okay. I will need to bake that, to fry that chin chin for me. You need a bag of flour. I mean, don't forget you have a bag in store you bought last year. I mean, lovely. They know that I need this light. Then, when you now do your, so you don't call, hello, Chuku, how much is a bag of flour now? You say, oh, a bag? A bag now, we are selling at the rate of 200,000 naira. If you are giving me the quotation for my product, for my chin chin, will you use the cost you bought last year or the current one?
Why? You know fraud?
Is that not fraud? Don't you have it before? Because if you use the last one to bake the next thing tomorrow, you are going to the market and you are going to buy in the current price. It's something you are using regularly. Do you get it now? If you use it, can you even say in the evening, I have another thing, I want to go to market, go and buy flour. You are going to buy at the current price. So please, once a material, they told you that is used frequently, the market price, the current price with a replacement cost is the relevant cost. Can you see now? Used frequently. I get it now. That statement is very important. So, can you see now? For any material used regularly, you use the replacement cost. Abi? The question will now be, what if that material is not used frequently? I get it now. Am I right? That material is not used frequently, right? The first rank is it used frequently? Yes or no? If it's yes, what is the replacement cost? Case closed. Because this cost you have here is you have incurred in the past. It's a past cost. Any past cost is not relevant. I get it now. Anytime you are talking about relevant cost, the past cost, we call it sunk cost, is not relevant. You have incurred it already. You are not going to incur it now or incur it later. Do you get it now? Something you have incurred is already past, is sunk, is not relevant to any decision you are taking now. Do you get it now? Please take note of that. Now, we now say that the material is not used frequently, right? What is now the relevant cost? The question will be, if you are not using that material frequently, does that material has a realizable value? You bought a wristwatch few years ago. You bought it 1 million naira. Abi? And that wristwatch has no value to you again. You don't use it again. It's useless to you. Right? You are not using it. Then your brothers, but that particular wristwatch, even you are not using, you can sell it to all these Mebola or all these phone repairer or wristwatch repairer. Something you bought 1 million, maybe you can just sell it 10,000 naira. I mean, if you are selling as a scrap, right? So that means you bought it at 1 million, that's the past. Is not relevant again. I mean, the next question is that since you are not using regularly, we can look at what? The market price. I mean, but if you are not using it, you can dispose it. I mean, at what? 10,000 naira. If your brother now comes to say, hey, hello, auntie, let me carry the wristwatch now. They carry. How much did you give your brother? Is it 1 million or 10,000? You give it because that is the value of that phone. Now that is the value you can realize from that wristwatch now. I get it now because it's not useful to you. Do you get it now? So once a material is not used regularly, the question will now be, does it have a realizable value? If yes, the relevant cost become net realizable value. Net realizable value. Can you see now? Net, in the sense that in the process of selling that wristwatch, you may need to carry bike to the market. I mean, that's the cost to sell. It will be what is the value, disposable value minus cost to sell. If there is, or maybe they just pass your door. Hello, I have this phone. I have the wristwatch. Take, give my money. Case closed. I mean, but if you incur any cost to sell that particular item, that's the cost to sell. You have to net it off from what? From the disposable value. Please take note of that. If a material is not used frequently and it has a disposable value or a realizable value, the relevant cost is now what? Is now net realizable value. Take note of that. Now, that's the second step, Abi. The third step now, the material is not frequently used, Abi. We check the second level. It doesn't have a realizable value. Is it relevant? My sister, brother, is it relevant? The material is not frequently used, we check again, it doesn't have any realizable value, is it relevant? You are correct. It's not that we call obsolete material. Obsolete material, and then it is not relevant. It becomes zero. I mean, it has zero value. Even if you use it for a production, it's zero. I get that. If you give it to your brother, it's zero. You gave your brother no value. Do you get it now? This is the material. It's to you. Can you sell it? But I'm using it for a production now, right? But it has no value. Do you know that? Let me still get another thing now. You can still incur costs to evacuate that unused material. A cost of material can become an income to you. Do you know? A practical example. You have soccer away in your house, but all of you have not like me. I used to go and throw away. You know this one is short put. So let's say we have now that product that passed through the soccer away. I mean, anytime you want to evacuate it, we incur what? Disposable cost. Can you see now? Disposable what? Disposable cost, right? Material, they can have a lot of information on material. This is one of the areas that can disturb your head very well. Material. So anyway, it has a disposable cost, right? Good. But somebody is now doing fishing or doing agriculture around your side. Say, oh, come to your house. Hello, guys. This is your product. I need it. I will pass a pipe from my farm, come to inside your soccer away. When the thing gets here, I will evacuate it to my farm. That cost of evacuating it is supposed to incur. We incur it, you save it, it becomes income. Can you see now? A cost turn to what? Turn to income. Disposable cost now become saved. It now become saved. Become income. Another way is that. So now that material now is not useful to you. If you use it for anything, it has no value. It has no value. Quantitatively, you are not benefiting. But qualitatively, you are benefiting. Because once you satisfy that customer, your goodwill is increasing. So, but to you, that material has no single value. So using use zero, that we call relevant cost. Another way, they can also give you a material as a substitute for another material. It's not used here, but it can be substituted for another material in another product. You have to calculate. Okay, how many units of this one do I need as equivalent to the one of that other material? And then let's say you have material X and material Y. And to produce your product, you need 1 kg of material Y at 50 naira per kg. At 50 naira per kg. But material X is not used in your normal production, but can be substituted as Y in the production, but it now be 3 kg of X equals to 1 kg of Y. Can you see now? The relevant common will be what? 3 times what? How many kg is this one? 50. The 3 kg of this one will now become what? 50 naira as a relevant cost. Can you see now? Comfort is going beyond your level small. I told you that I'm going to extend this beyond your level. Don't worry. I want to see what we have missed in that class so that Just have understanding of it here. So, because I'm going too much for you. For them, I'm not even reaching where I'm going. I'm not. So can you see now? So there are so many ways they can disturb you in terms of material. But please, the purpose of relevant cause is that which cause are you incurring now, not past. Please take note. So that's what we are looking at in terms of material. Let's go to labor. There are two types of settle your labor. Abi, you can either pay them wages or what? Or salary. Abi, definitely we have two types of laborers. We have two types of labors. We have hard work workers. We have hard work workers and is it regular? Abi? And a regular or permanent, let me say permanent workers. Permanent workers. Let me start with permanent first. This is what we call committed fixed cost, right? You guys have signed a contract. They have given you an employment letter. You are working for me. Every month, you are collecting net of this amount. Or your total salary is this amount, right? Whether there is job or no job, won't you collect your salary? Is it relevant? Can you see now? That's the committed fixed cost. You have already agreed on it. So, once you see payment of salary paid to the labor is not relevant generally. I get it now. We are going to tell you is fixed. We are going to tell you something that we can make it relevant here. But if no further information, the salary of workers are not relevant because whether there is a job or no job, they must collect their salary. But hard work workers, are we paying them salary? What are we paying them? We are paying them wages. Either hourly, either daily or weekly. I get it now. And then these hard work workers, you only invite them when they are needed. When there's no work, no payment for them. I mean, when there's work, they come, you pay them daily, hourly, or weekly. They settle the case. I get it now. So the labor paid to laborer is relevant cost. When you see rate per hour, rate per day, rate per week is wages, and the wages is what is relevant. The only way that may not be relevant is this: they can have a minimum guarantee because it is that is why in some other country you find it more lovely that whether there is they have at least must have something handy. A company employ you as a laborer. They are paying some country, they are not paying per month. They are paying per day or per week. I get now. But they must set a minimum for you. That okay, there's a minimum guarantee wages. Can you see now? Minimum guarantee wages. Because okay, 1,000 naira every month. Or let's say every hour. I mean, a minimum of this. When they set a minimum guarantee wages, that particular minimum is not relevant because whether there is a work or no work, you must receive that minimum wages. It's a minimum guarantee wages. Can you see now? Whether there is a job or no job, that minimum must be received. So for that minimum to be received, it means that it's not relevant. I get it now. The only way that can make that minimum to be relevant. So once you have a guarantee minimum wages, that amount is not relevant. The only way that can make it relevant is that when you need additional labor at that moment. Can you see now? Let's say for example now, you have 5 laborers, I mean, These 5 laborers, they have a minimum guarantee of what? Of 1,000 naira. Am I right? Now, if that means the 5,000 naira is not relevant, am I right? But you now have a special contract that require, let me say, 7 laborers. Can you see now? Look at all these 5 now. Anything above 1,000 naira for each of them is now relevant. Is now relevant, right? But from 0 to 1,000 naira is not relevant, right? Because they have a minimum of what? Guarantee of 1,000. So anything that above 1,000 become a relevant cost. But here, you now have a special order that require 7 laborers. I get it now. Based on your past commitment, you have minimum for how many?
5.
For 5. This remaining 2, from 0 to whatever they incur, become a relevant cost because that is additional laborer. They are outside your commitment. That minimum for that 2 labor is the additional cost. Even that minimum is still a relevant cost because if not because of that contract, there is no need for extra 2 labor. The 2 labor required because that particular contract. I get it now. So their own cost from 0, from 1 hour upward, become a relevant cost. So now, please take note of that. You can also see something like that in labor. Another thing that normally common to labor is opportunity cost. It may not be only labor alone, but it's common very well in labor. When you look at, you know that opportunity cost simply refer to what? Alternative forgone. In economics, you call it real cost. That is the cost that is opportunity cost simply refer to anything sacrificed in order to satisfy another thing, right? Now, let's come back to it now. When you talk of opportunity cost, once you sacrifice or you forgo any contribution for a particular product, that income forgone become a cost to that product. I get it now. How does it come in with labor? Sometimes they can give you a question that you have a special order and then all your existing labor or workers are fully occupied. I get it. They are what? They are fully occupied and there is scarcity of labor. Okay, so now there is scarcity of labor and the one you have, they are fully occupied. That means to satisfy that particular contract now, you need to divert your existing customer from the existing product to that new contract, right? Once you do that, you divide them, you know that you hire different people. You divide them from the existing contract due to scarcity of labor. What does it mean is that the unit to produce from the existing product will reduce. The unit to produce from the existing product will reduce. Once it reduces, it means that you are losing the contribution to be generated from those units. That contribution forgone, that contribution sacrifice become the opportunity cost for that contract. Can you see now? That is the opportunity cost. Now, let's go to overhead. When you look at overhead, we have 2 types of overhead. We said it in the exam, in our previous classes, that when you see overhead, cost, selling expense, you can't say it's variable, you can't say it is fixed. They didn't say variable overhead. They didn't say fixed overhead. They didn't say variable selling expenses. They didn't say fixed selling expenses. You assume that it is a mixed cost. Am I right? We talked about that one in our previous classes. Then, when you now see overhead now, we have 2 types of overhead. It may be variable, it may be fixed. Keep to your standard, don't sleep in my class. If I catch you, you're in trouble. You will tell me who did not allow you to sleep over the night. Imato, were you playing music? Maybe it's the one that is disturbing. Oh, is that camera? Sleepless night. I can't sweet you. You deprive your right. How can we deprive your right? Sleep for where? Okay. Sometimes you sleep. You sleep like this. I can. Especially when exam is very close. You will sleep, be dreaming. You will sleep. Want to sleep, oh, you sleep small. Wake up. You don't know what is waking you up. And if you don't start out to read, you say, easy wake up. That is sweet too. You never have it. Don't worry, you are going to have it once you pass.
You pass.
That day you pass, you just scatter like this. So we have variable overhead and fixed overhead. I mean, the variable overhead, is it relevant or not? Without any discussion. Very, very relevant. I mean, because these are the variable, it's variable because it's all that increase when the what? When the activity level increase. If you produce 1 unit, you incur certain variable cost. If you produce more, you increase more. If you produce more, increase more. So it's increasing as the activity level is increasing. It is a relevant cost. But fixed cost, is it relevant? I can say yes, I can say no. I mean, like salary we talk about here is a committed, I mean, it's a fixed cost. I mean, is it relevant? No. Right? So if fixed cost has been incurred before a decision, I mean, it becomes past cost. It becomes general fixed cost. I mean, it becomes unavoidable fixed cost. I mean, it becomes committed fixed cost. I mean, it is what? Allocated fixed cost. I mean, it is absorbed fixed cost. I mean, and it is not relevant. And you see a question that says allocated fixed cost. It's not relevant because it is allocated to that product. Absorbed fixed cost. It is absorbed. That product absorbs it. I get now. It does not mean that fixed cost incur it. Do you get it now? Committed. So all these past costs, we call it sunk cost. And it is not sunk. Sunk cost. Cost. And it is not relevant. I mean, like your depreciation, you bought a mansion, you are charging depreciation every year. That depreciation is what? It's a past cost. It's not relevant. I get it now. The salary they are paying to workers, when they are putting on the product to know whether they are profit or not, understand that is allocated cost. It's not incurred specifically by the product, right? But the salary of the what? Of the factory manager. Look at it. And they are producing only a single product. It's relevant to that product. Can you see logic now? So, factory, let's the factory now. Let me say factory operator. Let me use that. That's operating the machine. Is that? No, depends. Some company will not put it as admin level. Every manager can be at admin level, right? Okay. What we are saying here is that the factory cost now. Okay, that one we can take under sort down a capacity. Let us bring it here. Understand now? Can be a direct, can be a relevant fixed cost now to a sort down capacity. Factory manager, I get it now. When you want to sort down that factory manager salary become a relevant fixed cost. Look at it now. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about that when I talk about delete a segment. But now, the fixed cost that has been incurred before decision is not a relevant fixed cost. I mean, General fixed cost, we have talked about that one later. But if a fixed cost is specifically incurred because of a particular decision, is it relevant or not? It is relevant fixed cost. So any fixed cost incurred because of a particular decision, it becomes a relevant fixed cost. You can also have what we call incremental fixed cost. Am I right? When a fixed cost increase because of a particular contract, that increment in that fixed cost become a relevant cost. For example, you have two supervisors. So those two supervisors, now you now have more contracts. You have extra contract that demand more supervision. Because of that contract, you now hire a new supervisor at a particular price. I mean, that new supervisor become a relevant cost to that contract. Or because of the extra contract you have, due to the rate of supervision of the work, you increase the salary of the existing one. That increment become a relevant fixed cost, which is incremental fixed cost. So it can also be called avoidable fixed cost, or you call it direct fixed cost. You call it flexible fixed cost. You call it what? Specific fixed cost. What again? What again? There are plenty. I can't remember. They are what? They are relevant fixed cost. For example, now, any fixed cost that can be avoided if a decision is not taken is relevant to that decision. If you make that decision, you are incurring that fixed cost. If you don't make that decision, you are avoiding it, or you are eliminating it, you are saving it. It's become a relevant fixed cost. I get it now. Or direct fixed cost. Specifically. So, flexible, specific, and when you see all these things. But what I wish to say is that when you see a fixed cost without further information, that fixed cost is not relevant. If it's relevant, or any part of it is relevant, the creditor must provide you further. They must give you further information on it. So this is how to look at relevant cost in terms of material, in terms of labor, in terms of overhead, either variable or fixed. So let's look at one serious question that was tested as compulsory that time by ICANN. If you can be able to look at that question critically, I believe when you see any other question, you'll be able to do something. But we can't have a question that will take care of all the ways of relevant cost. No way. You have to look at more questions. You have more questions in your material. You have more than 13 questions there. You have to practice as much as you can practice, so that you can familiarize yourself with how to determine relevant cost. Because you can, if I can want to test decision making seriously, you can't go without full understanding of relevant cost, even in budget. So relevant cost is one of the key topics that you must know. And they can disturb you. When they are asking all this decision making, they only hide most of the time under relevant cost. I getting it now? So let's look at that question tested that time. That was which diet? That was 2002 November diet. Question number 1. 2002 November diet. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, 2022. Sorry. Kite, let's start.
Koliwi Limited is a company that builds innovative and environmentally friendly housing. Their houses uses high quality material and the unique patented energy saving technology used in the houses has been the result of the company's own extensive research in the area. Koliwi Limited is planning to expand into another country and has been asked by a prominent person in that country for a price quotation to build them a house. The board of directors believe that securing the contract will help to launch their houses in the country and have agreed to quote a price for the house that will exactly cover its relevant costs. The following information has been obtained in relation to the contract. 1. The Chief Executive and Marketing Director recently met with the potential client to discuss the house. The meeting was held at a restaurant and Koliwi Limited provided food and drinks at a cost of 37,500. 2. 1,200 kilograms of material Z will be required in the house. Koliwi Limited currently has 550 kilograms of material Z in its inventory at a price of 5,800 per kg. Material Z is regularly used in its houses and has a current replacement cost of 6,500 per kg. The resale value of material Z in inventory is 3,500 per kg.
Kito, let's do this because this is a very long question. Before we read this question completely and start going again, it's going to waste our time. I mean, what you do for me, go to requirement. What did they say in that requirement? Then we now start solving. As we are reading, we'll be solving it together. What are the requirements?
Required A. Produce a schedule that shows the minimum price that could be quoted for the contract to build a house. Your schedule should show the relevant cost of each of the 9 items identified above. You should also explain each relevant cost value you have included in your schedule and why any of the values you have excluded are not relevant.
They told you that prepare a schedule that will show the minimum price, for the house. I get it now? Which so that anytime they ask you the minimum price, they ask you what? The relevant cost. I get it now? Because they told us in the question that the company want to use a relevant pricing strategy, to quote it. Because this company now, they are in another country. They want to extend beyond their country. And unfortunately for them, a prominent person of another country asked them to come and build a house. Like for example now, a Chinese company or a US company or a Niger company or a Kenya company want to extend it to Nigeria, planning to extend to Nigeria. Now got opportunity from president that come and build a national library, come and build a house for us. Isn't that the opportunity? So they want to use that opportunity that, okay, fine. We want to show them our quality. Once we are accepted, we take over and take all the opportunity in the market. That's okay. They want to use a relevant cost pricing strategy to determine the price to give them. That is, they don't have the aim of making profit. They don't have the aim of what? Of covering their past fixed cost. We only want to include only the relevant costs. They now said, prepare a schedule to show the minimum price. I get it now. Anytime they ask you the minimum quotation, minimum price, relevant cost, they ask you the relevant cost. Or they're asking you minimum price, minimum quotation. I get it now. They're asking for relevant cost. As simple as that. So we have seen what they're asking for now. That we should prepare a schedule. Not only schedule again. They now said you must explain with any cost you included in your schedule. Why is it included? And any cost you don't include. Why is not included? I get it now. So not only by just include it, maybe just guess. Give us why it is included. Something you didn't include, why you didn't include it. Very lovely. So they That was is it not 30 mark question?
Yes.
30 mark. About three pages. Some of my students saw it, say, hey, but you can see, let me tell you something, PM. Don't be scared with don't be scared with length of the question. Those lengthy questions always have simple answer. Look at the question, read the question, pick the relevant information, leave irrelevant information for them. You only need relevant information to get your relevant mark. No time. So leave the relevant for them because you don't need the mark for that one. So let's start it. What did they say in B? Kitoye.
Okay. In B,
Yes, ma'am.
explain two reasons why relevant costing may not be a suitable approach to pricing houses in the longer term for Koliwi Limited.
Now, they said the first one, give her the minimum price, I mean. Second one, give two reasons why in the long time the relevant cost pricing strategy may not be suited for this company. What did they say in C, Madam Bola? Koliwi, right? Like this? Limited. What did they say in the commentary? Okay, thank you.
Recommend with justification a pricing strategy for Koliwi Limited to price the innovative.
Recommend which pricing strategy is suitable for them. Give us the reason. I mean, now we have seen this question now. If you look at this question, I want to show you where they talk about relevant cost here. They say the board of directors believe that securing the contract will help to launch their houses in the country. Can you see now? And have agreed to quote a price for the house that will exactly cover its relevant cost. Can you see now? They have given their pricing strategy that getting that contract in that place. Once they get that contract and they are successful in that contract, it will give them the opportunity to sell houses in that country. So they have agreed that they are going to quote a price that will cover only the relevant cost. They now ask you down there, what is the minimum price? Relevant cost. So we are looking at relevant, that is A. See my marker? No bullet. Where is my bullet? I don't want to use green. I don't like green. I'm not a green type. Relevant cost schedule. Abi? They say we to pay schedule, Abi? Now, they give us information that explain why the cost is included, why a particular cost is not included. I mean, I can look at it that items, how much is it? Then put my note here. Then how much? The cost item, the note, so I can give the explanation, then the amount. Simple as it is. Kitoye, let's start now. We can now start together. So as we are going, we are reading, we are solving it. They said the following information has been obtained in relation to the contract. Abi? Look at number 1. They said the chief executive and the marketing director recently met with the potential client to discuss the house. The meeting was held at a restaurant, and the Koliwi Limited provided food and drinks at a cost of 37,500 naira. Koliwi Limited have a meeting, with the client, and the meeting was held at a restaurant, and they provide food and drinks at a cost of 37,500 naira. This 37,500 for the food and drink is irrelevant.
No.
Why is not relevant? You say no, you must tell you why.
It doesn't add anything to the contract.
It doesn't add anything to the contract.
Before the contract.
Lovely. One, you said something relevant. Oh, you said that it's even before the contract agreed. The contract has not even been given. And as you guys say that it's even the cost that even if they are not going to get that contract, they are just having discount with the client. Even they don't want to, even they effectively won't be giving the contract, they might have already incurred that cost. They will still incur it. Whether they get the contract or they are not getting the contract, they have held the meeting and the cost has been incurred. What can we call that? Sunk cost, past cost. Listen now, past cost. I will just come here. Item 1, food, yes ma, and drinks. Note 1, my note. Note 1, that's. Let me feel my. The first thing, food and drink, we said is not relevant, Why? Because it is a cost, it is a past cost. It was incurred before the contract. And whether they are going to get the contract or not, they will still incur that cost. So that's what they are saying. Tell us why you included a cost. Tell us why you didn't include a cost. Because they had that meeting. It's a past. At that meeting, they may get the contract, they may not, because it's not certain at the beginning of that meeting that they are going to get the contract. So it's after the meeting, either they get the contract or not, they are provided for the food and drinks. So take note of that. Madam Titi, second item. What did they say? Note 1, yes, I write the story there. After your schedule, note separately. No cost here. Note. Note 1. Explain it. So you are done with that. Are we good to go? Look at note 2 now. Information 2. Are we there? 1,200 kg of material Z will be required for the house. 1,200 kg of material Z will be required for the house. Koliwi Limited currently has 550 kg. 550 kg of material Z in its inventory, purchased at a price of 5,800 naira per kg. Material Z is regularly used in its houses and has a current replacement cost of 6,500 naira per kg. The resale value of the material Z in inventory is 3,500 naira per kg. You have 3 costs here. It was purchased. They need 1,200. They have 550 kg in stock, which was purchased at 5,800 naira when they purchased it, right? Is that relevant? It is a past cost. And this material is regularly used and has a current market price of 6,500 naira. The one you have in stock can be disposed at a price of 3,500 500 naira per kg. Which one is relevant here? You guys are book. 6,005 is relevant because they have said the material is regularly used for their houses. So ignore anything. What is the current market price? So material Z will now be 6,500. How many kg? 1,002. That is note 2. Give me the cost. Oh yeah, now nobody. 7.8 million. Go back to the note. What can you say here? The relevant cost, the replacement cost of material Z is the relevant cost because it is a material frequently used. Case closed. Well, you don't need to be writing story. Key point. Key point. Go and chop your other mark somewhere else. Yes, the replacement cost of material Z of 6,500 naira is a relevant cost because it is a material regularly used. If it's not saying you want to pack small mark, the 3,005, the 5,008 is not relevant, Abi, because it is a past cost. Simple. So, but you have included it. Why? You have explained why. The theory is not relevant. I get it now. Because the material is already what? It's already a frequently used material. So we have to ignore what? Disposable value. So we have included it. We have explained why it is included. We didn't include it. We have explained why it is not included. Are we good to go? So you look at it now. There's some other question there that can give a different view of this cost too. Please, I want you to practice more question there, so that once you understand your relevant cost seriously, hardly you will see any question that will fall the decision making you're able to solve. Because where they normally hide is relevant cost. Where most of the time it's our relevant cost. That's where they can hide. So just know when a cost turn it to revenue, turn it to what? Income. Let's go to information 3. Are we there? 400 hours of construction worker time are required to build the house. Koliwi Limited construction workers are paid on hourly rate. Okay. Koliwi Limited construction workers are paid an hourly rate of 2,200,000 naira. Under a guaranteed wage arrangement, and they currently have spare capacity to build the house. Look at it here. Let me repeat it so that I can get it right. They said the 400 hours of the construction workers' time are required to build the house. Koliwi Limited construction workers are paid an hourly rate of 2,200 naira under a guaranteed wage agreement, right? And they currently have spare capacity to build the house. Yes, ma'am. Labor cost. Abi? Or let me say construction workers, Abi? Construction workers. Relevant or not? Irrelevant. Why? Madam Favor, relevant or not? Yeah, still think. Why do you guys say, you guys are correct that saying not relevant? It's not relevant. Why? They are paid them wages actually. Have you? And we know that wages is relevant. You say yes. You say come and talk small. You don't chop everything finish. Lovely, I love it. That is a come to the class. Come on. You will see that what we discuss at that level is tukuli. Because at that level, I can't discuss this minimum wages with them. There is not their level. But here, it's chop beyond their level. So, if you look at it here, the wages normally is a relevant cost, right? But there is a guarantee minimum of 2,002, which is what they are paying. So, every day, if work 1 hour, is 2,200 per hour. I mean, but even if you don't have work, you must give that 2,002. You are certain that if you go to work, even if they don't have anything to do, they will give 2,002. I mean, so now the 2,002 hourly rate, is it relevant? Even if they work for 400 hours, you can only, what is relevant will now be more than, I get now. But now they have all those workers now, which they can work for 400 hours. We already agree with them a guaranteed wages of 22. I mean, now that 400 hours is not even more than what you require to build the house. We don't even need extra. Can you see now? Definitely look at it. 4,400 times 2,002 is what? 800 880,000. This is the minimum wage guarantee. Are you getting that? We already have this one guaranteed. I get that. We have this one minimum guarantee. And then, even this is not even, they don't even give us the hours guarantee. We got the hour required by this contract, have you? This is the hour required by the contract. This is the hour even required by the contract. They're not even saying that the hour guarantee is even more than. Do you get it now? Definitely, this amount of 880 is even inside their amount guaranteed. Do you get it now? So I think I explained when I was talking of labor the other time. Have you? So they don't need the extra hour. I mean, they need the extra hour now. That will now be a relevant cost. Or this contract above the guarantee hour. Are you getting it now? So in this case now, they have a minimum guarantee of 2,002 per hour. I mean, we don't know that hour. I mean, we don't know the hour they have agreed upon. I mean, but we know that hour at 2,002 times that hour, which is not given to us, is amount of wage guaranteed. Whether there is a work or no work, those money must be paid. I mean, those guys will get that money. I mean, but they now tell us this hour now is even more than the hour required by this contract. I mean, okay, he said, how do we know that it's more than? Oh yeah, we answer you now. They now said, and they currently have spare capacity to build the house. They have the spare capacity. They have enough capacity under their minimum guarantee to build a house.
Extra capacity.
So, become irrelevant cost. What is the note? That is committed cost already. I mean, the contract, the wages has a minimum guaranteed wages. I mean, which is the committed amount. and the company has a spare capacity to even build the house. Therefore, it is not relevant. Case closed. They ask you, give all the reason. I mean, if it's included, if it's not included, why? So the third reason. So it's not relevant there. The next one. Can you see now? This is a relevant course question completely. 30 mark. Compulsory. 3 pages. Page 1, page 2. And it's not about the length of the question. Can you see now? So look at the length. Look at the solution you are giving. So pick your relevant information to get your relevant mark. Leave relevant for them. Let's go. Information 4. The house will require 90 hours of the engineer's time. Koliwi Limited engineers are paid a monthly salary of 475,000 naira. 475,000 naira each, and they do not have any spare capacity. Look at it. They are paying salary, monthly salary of what? Of 475,000 naira each. Abi, that 475,000 naira each, is it relevant? Why is it not relevant? Because it is a salary. Look at it now. Look at Izu. Now they are paying monthly salary. It's a committed contract already. So the 475,000 naira is not relevant because it is a salary. Can you see now? So even they don't have spare capacity, but what we know that 475,000 naira is not relevant because it is what? It is paying. They are on salary basis. That's the permanent worker. Whether there's a construction or no construction, they must get their money. I mean, let's go. They now said they have no spare capacity. I mean, case closed. They just use that to confuse us. Now they don't have spare capacity, but they must do this construction. Something must happen. We have hired them and they don't have salary. They are collecting salary and don't have spare capacity. I mean, how can we now solve this house now? I mean, let's go. Now, in order to meet the engineer requirement for the house, Koliwi Limited can choose one of the 2 options. Koliwi Limited can choose what? One of the 2 options. We are at note what? Note 4. Abi? Let's look at note 4. They now say the first options. Pay engineer an overtime rate of 5,200 naira per hour to perform the additional work. Abi? Can you see now? They are on salary. Their salary is not relevant here, Abi? But we can make them work overtime. And the overtime at the rate of what? 5,200. Abi? Per hour. Abi? How many hours require? How many engineering hours required by this contract? 90. Let's quickly calculate Roman figure 1. Overtime. Abi? Look at under my note, Abi. Overtime, Abi. Overtime will be what? It will be 90 times what? 5,200. What do we have? 468,000. That's the first option, Abi. The second option, under the figure 4, what did they say? Reduce the number of engineer hours. Reduce the number of engineer hours available for their existing job. For the building of the, look at it. Please take note here. I want to take it again. Second option now. Reduce the number of engineer hours available for their existing job for the building of product Y. They want to reduce now their hour on the product Y. That means they want to divide them from the existing product of Y. This will result in loss of sales of product Y. Normally, when you divide them from the existing contract, they won't produce the number of units supposed to produce under the existing. So they are going to what? Loss of. So when you lose sales in product Y, what happens to you? You are losing contribution. The question will now be, how many units are you losing? At what rate? How many hours do you need? How many hours do you need from that product Y? And how many units is it equivalent to? So the first thing we need to do here, we need to know what is now contribution per unit. I mean, let's look at it here. Let's say here, they say the summary details of the existing job for the engineer are, okay, the summary details of the existing job the engineering are working on are as follows. Information for unit of product Y. So, 1, they said sales revenue 486,000, variable cost 336,500, engineering time required per unit 30 hours. How many hours do you need here? You need 90 hours. And then to produce a Y, how many hours per unit? And you need how many hours? That 90 hours equivalent to how many units? 3. That means the 90 hours you are picking from product Y is equivalent to 3 units. What is the contribution per unit? So we want to know opportunity cost now. Opportunity cost, sales revenue is what? 486,000. Less our variable cost, 336, 500, right? What is your contribution? That is unit contribution. One what? 149,500. This is unit contribution. Therefore, our opportunity cost now will now be 3,000 what? 149,500. What do you have? 449,500. 44 what? 448,500. Look at the two costs here. You as a rational investor, the first option give you the cost. The second option give you the cost. Which one will you choose? 448. So now come here. Roman figure 4. Engineer's time. That is note what? Note 4. 448,500. Let's now build our note now. Have we? The monthly salary of engineer is not relevant, have we? Because it is a past and committed fixed cost. Have we? Am I right? But the opportunity cost of 448,500 is relevant, I mean, because it's cheaper than the overtime cost of what? Of 468,000 naira. Can you see now? So have the two. We really combine the two together because it is the relevant cost because it's cheaper than what? Than the when you talk of the cost, as a rational investor, you choose the lower cost. Am I right? So here I can say the relevant cost is what? 448,500. Favor, are we together? Very lovely, right? Well, technical. Are we together? Let's continue. Roman figure 5, information 5. Abi? You are still writing? Write quickly. I have FA class after now. After that, I'm going home. Then I have business law. Shh. There is no time to check time. There is no time to check time. There is no time to check time. That is why I refuse to use wristwatch. We don't have time to check time. Because checking time is a waste of time. Are we together? Now, let's move to the next information now. What did they say in the next information? Information 5, Abi. A specialist machine will be required for 7 weeks for the house to be built. Koliwi Limited has 4 weeks remaining on the 15-week specialist machine rental contract that cost 1,500,000 naira. For this contract now, it requires the use of a specialist machine. And that specialist machine, we need for how many weeks for this contract? 7 weeks. But this contract for rental of that machine is always on 15 weeks. Abi? But the existing one, which cost us 1,500,000 naira for that 15 weeks, remain only 4 weeks to complete. That 1,500,000 is irrelevant. Why? It is what? It is a past cost. So, case closed. You already started your note already. The 1,500,000 on this existing rental contract is a past cost, is not relevant. Let's go. Now, let's go. They now said, the machine is currently not in use. The machine is currently not in use. The machine can be rented for additional 15 weeks at a cost of 1,525,000. The machine now can now be rented for additional 15 weeks, at a cost of what? 1,525,000 naira. Is it relevant or not? It's relevant. That is the first way. Alternative, the specialist machine can only be rented in block of 15 weeks. Alternatively, so we have two options here also. For the specialist machine, we can rent it for another 15 weeks at 1,500,000. So let me go there. Note 5. Option 1. Rental fee is what? 1,525,000. That's the first option. Then the second option, option 2, Alternatively, a mansion can be purchased for 60 million and sold after the work on the house and sold after the work on the house has been completed for 40 million. I mean, you bought the house, you bought the mansion at 60 million, you sell it at 40 million. How much the cost of that work to you? So alternatively, you bought that particular mansion at purchase value, $60 million. Abi? Then resale value, disposable value, abi? 40 million, abi? Your relevant cost is what? Is 2 million. For that contract is 2 million. Between this and which one you choose? Therefore, the relevant cost will be what? 1,525,000. Abi? You come here. Item 5. Specialist machine. Note 5. We are going to finish that note. 1,525,000. Abi? So you have started with your note that the rental fee of 1.5 million, abi, is not relevant, abi, because it is a past cost. However, the relevant cost of the specialist machine will be the additional rental fee of 1,525,000 naira, abi, because it is cheaper than the cost of purchasing the new one, which costs what? 2 million cost. Abi? Simple. So you are choosing the option and you are giving them the information. So we are going to information 6 now. Relevant cost only. Can you see? Very lovely, but very technical. So if I can be able to finish this one today, I'm satisfied. Next class, I will start my make or buy orders. Maybe that same class, I'll finish those topics without issues. Because those ones, they are not useful for me again. Once you understand your relevant cost correctly. Are we together? So if I go and eat. You say we are wicked. Take that one. Take it now, give you is a gift. What did they say there? The windows required for the house have recently been developed by Koliwi Limited and use the latest environmentally friendly insulating material. They produce the windows at a cost of 3,395,000 naira and they are currently the only one of their type. They were planning to exhibit the windows at house building conferences. The window will only be used for display purpose at the conference and will not be for sales for prospective clients. The window required for the building. You are feeling? Because some people they are unable to talk, but they are also feeling. They want to talk, but they are feeling it. So we have seen them already. But let's help them out. So that's it. Some people want to say something, but only one person will be able to say it. So well done. Thank you very much. You have saved many people. Even what was said is feeling it. It does. Oh, we don't have nose mask. So thank you. Sorry. Let's go there. Look at it here. The window they want to use, they have already built that, right? At a cost of what? 3,395,000. They built that for display in the building conference, abi? Just to display to them so that you can get more clients, abi? That 3,395,000 is irrelevant. Why? It is a past cost. Case closed. So you have seen what to write already from that one. Let's now go further now. The window will only be used for display purpose at the conference and will not be for sales to prospective clients, right? Koliwi Limited has had certainty, from 3 separate clients that they will place an order for 25 windows each if they saw the technology demonstrated at the conference. What are they? Now, they have already have 3 clients that say, each of us, if you can see display that window at the conference, we are going to buy, each of us are going to buy 25 window each. Abi? 25 each. Abi? 25,000 is what? 75. If you use that window for the house, will you be able to display it? That means the contribution from the 75 windows will be an opportunity cost if the information stop here. Abi? If the information stop here, the 75,000 will be the opportunity cost. Will now be the cost of the window here. Abi? If they stop at this point, right? But let's see. The contribution from each window is 1,045,000 naira. If they stop here, it just be 75,000 times 1,045,000. 75 units, times 1,045,000, right? That will now be the cost of the window. That's the opportunity cost. Because once we use that window, we are unable to display. We won't be able to display it what? At the conference. But let's see whether they go further. I love this question so much. If the window are used for the contract, Koliwi Limited will not be able to attend the conference. They will not be able to attend the conference. The conference organizer will charge a penalty of 150,000 naira for non-attendance by the company. Another relevant cost. Because once you use it, at this point now, we have seen two relevant costs now. The contribution from 75 units will be relevant, opportunity cost. Then the penalty also will be a relevant cost. At this point. But they go further. What did they say further? They now said, the chief executive of Koliwi Limited can meet the client directly and still secure the order for the windows. The executive director now, the contributor we think we have lost, that is opportunity cost. The executive director can now still meet them and still get those orders. Are we going to lose that contributor again? So that one is out of the what? Opportunity cost. We are thinking, you're already out of what? Relevant cost. We think is relevant cost. That one is out. Let's now go further again. They still give further information. Voila. So we now have 150,000 naira on ground that we can call a relevant cost. That we can call a relevant cost. Now look at it. They now said The chief executive of Koliwi Limited can meet the client directly and still secure the order for the windows. Abi? The meeting will require 2 days of the chief executive's time. The chief executive is paid an annual salary of 41,400,000 naira, and they contracted to work for 260 days per year. Abi, we require 2 days, but they are paying him salary. So even if you go there, there's no extra cost. If I'm the examiner here, I can add extra cost here. Yes, we have seen only penalty, Abi. I can say, okay, we are going to pay in DTA, traveling allowance. If they pay normally, if they pay DTA, all the traveling allowance, it now become a relevant cost. But the salary, even like let's use 20 days, we are paying salary. Since we are paying salary, is not relevant.
What to confuse to them?
You know, said, yes, they are paying an annual salary of this amount, but they only contracted people to work for 200.
Yes, they are. No, that is it. Let me ask you, are you working? Are you working for 365 days in a year? You are not working for 300 days in a year. You are working for 5 days in a week. I get to now. So even in a year, every company know the time that specific in your contract that this is the time you are working for a year. But so far it's a salary they are paying you. No issue. 260, Abi, is even. I get to now. So that even. So that is the strategy there. So it's something they are also like us. So now it's not relevant, but they can add it from the examiner. You can pay if they pay DTA, traveling allowance, and some allowance peculiar to this travel. It now become a real plus what? Plus the penalty. But here, the only relevant cost is what? Is penalty. Can you see now? Here, window, Abi. I will just say penalty, Abi. How much is it? 150. I think you are going to put that note by yourself there, Abi. You know the note already. Quickly, 7. Now, look at 7 now. They say the house to build require 400 kg of other material. Abi, Koliwi Limited currently has none of this material in its inventory. The total current purchase price for the other material is 600,000 naira. Relevant or not relevant? Relevant. Other material. That is 600. Abi? So it is a new material, and they don't have in the store. Abi, it's a current material to be purchased. So at the current market price, they don't have it. So you look at that. So 8 quickly. We are done. Actually, I didn't see it. You, Bola, did you say it to me? Okay. Yes. Koliwi Limited fixed overhead absorption rate is 3,700 per construction worker hour. 8. Fixed overhead. 8. Is it relevant or not? It is what? Irrelevant? It is irrelevant. This is a fixed cost. You absorb it. You incur, you bought machine, and then you absorb that machine on your product. Abi, absorption rate, this is budgeted cost. The cost you already incurred in the past is now absorbed. So it is the absorbed cost. So it is the past cost which is absorbed on the product. So it's not relevant. So next, they said Koliwi Limited normal policy is to add a 12% markup to the cost of each house. 9. Mark up. Abi? 9. Is it relevant? Markup? Yes, it's not relevant indeed because they said their policy is to quote a price that will cover only the relevant cost. So this is the yes, this is the minimum price. So we find the answer for you. So I think we are done. Let me quickly explain the B. B now say explain two reasons why relevant cost may not be sustainable, will not be a sustainable approach, may not be a suitable approach to pricing houses in the longer term for Koliwi Limited. I mean, so why this method cannot be a sustainable price? Because in the long run, they must recover their what? Their fixed cost. And at the same time, they also need to make profit for what? For the shareholders. So these are the two reasons. Explain the two reasons. They must recover this in the long run, and in the long run, they must also make profit for the what? For the shareholders. So, but they can use this one now to get grant in that country. They now ask in the C that recommend with justification, a pricing strategy for Koliwi Limited to use to price the innovative, environmentally friendly houses when they are launched in the new country. When you are launching a new country, a new product, what are the best methods you can use? You can use what? Penetration. When you know that it's a product that what? That has already existing in the market, Abi. When you are launching a differentiated product, what can you do? You can use skimming, charging the high price because it's a product that is different and unique in the market. I mean, explain it. We are going to do that more when we get to the pricing decision. So thank you very much. I'm going to end my class from here.